everybody. Welcome to another edition of Elevating with Marcia. I'm your host, Marcia Hawkins. Today, we're talking with Mike Athos of Blue Wave Financial. We're talking about an incredible lead generation program that every agent is going to want to learn about. Mike, welcome aboard.
Well, excited to be here, Marcia. Very excited to chat with you about marketing and how do you get in front of people. And I know that historically, when I got started in this insurance business back in 2010, the whole concept was buy a lead, go make a phone call, book an appointment, and go sell a policy. And I think that as the world evolves and changes,
Banging my
there's some
head.
need for some other things out there. So I'm excited to chat with you about what are some things that you see going on in the marketing space that could be helpful for agents at this point.
Well, let's talk about lead generation and buying leads. I mean, why? Think about it, Mike. Lead generation, purchasing leads is not tapping into technology other than the process by which you buy them. Does not tap into technology at all. A lot of those leads are harvested by a direct mailing. For example, for mortgage protection, a company will go through and find out new property transfers. Those names go into a database. They're then sent a letter talking about protecting their mortgage through a life insurance policy. A lot of people don't understand what they're signing up for. They fill it out. 99% of them do not remember that they filled it out or why
Yeah.
you are even calling them. I've been an agent for many, many years. And that was, I'm being honest with you, I really had an issue with that, dropping X amount of dollars. I mean, I would say the average agent is probably dropping $500 to $750 a week purchasing leads. Those leads are then sold to multiple agents, and it's really whoever calls and gets the appointment first. If if you can get that prospective client on the phone, number one. Let's face it, robocalling, the do not call list, many people forget that they even filled that out and why, more importantly. Historically, going back to some of my phone calls, a lot of it had to do, I would make the phone call and they'd be saying, oh, I thought that's something the bank needed. That's why I filled that out. So the moral of my story is that, purchasing leads can be a very, very difficult process, especially for a new agent. So what we've developed is a process where we have re-engineered the entire process for that agent, and we're providing them a long-term solution at a fixed price to generate leads for them. So it always kind of surprises me when I talk to an insurance agent and they do not have a website, or if they do, it's not not going to help them online. It's not going to help their online presence. So Google, Bing, Yahoo, all of the major search engines are really looking for content. And how we provide that is we build a highly optimized website. We have a way that we construct these websites. So, for example, if I showed you an image of two homes and they were the exact same thing, if you're looking at a picture, two homes, on the left-hand side, we have a manufactured home. So maybe it was built in Ohio or Pennsylvania. It was put on a flatbed. It was jostled a couple of 100 miles, set on a foundation, and there you go. Or the exact same house is stick built. Which house would you pick?
I'd pick the one that's built right on site.
Exactly. And that's what our websites are. We stick build all of our websites in order to optimize the results that we can provide for you. The other thing too is nobody maintains their website. Google wants current and they want current and relevant content, and they want it on a consistent basis, which is another thing that we deliver. By doing that, most US-based companies are charging anywhere, and ones that are overseas, anywhere from $250 to $150 an hour. And you really need about 5 to 10 hours of search engine optimization in order for these websites to be relevant to the search engines. Otherwise, they're just going to skip on over you. So we provide every single tool in our toolbox in order to garner the result that agent is looking for. which is leads calling them. It solves a number of problems, the do not call list, the robocalling, all of that. And as an agent, I'm obviously a product of my service. I mean, I had a phone call last week. Guy called up, wanted life insurance. Not only did I sell him a life insurance policy within the hour of taking that phone call, but I also sold him a disability policy as well. So I know it works. I'm a product of my service. And it was like I had that aha moment, like, why am I buying leads when I can simply create the content online and have the leads call me?
That makes perfect sense because Marcia, historically, I mean, when mortgage protection leads first came out and final expense leads, they're always going to be available, I guess. But the cost of generating a lead has gone through the roof, and it's just not only are the your expense or your investment is what it should be. Your investment into your business is consistently increasing every single month, but once you do that, once you buy that stack of leads, you've worked it. Like, yes, you could get some referrals out of it, but it's not like those leads are going to continue to drum up business. And one thing that I love about the website concept is that website, the more and more, the longer it's out there, the more time it's gonna go to the top of the search rankings, and so it's not a one and done type of a deal. And that's a big deal too, because like when I first got started selling mortgage protection life insurance or even final expense life insurance, I was spending $19 for a brand new lead. Today, that same brand new lead is about $74. And so the cost has gone through the roof with it. And the barrier of entry, because I talk to a lot of brand new agents, I talk to a lot of veteran agents, but the barrier of entry to get your business up and running and to have clients that you're actually able to go out and sell to, the bar keeps getting higher and higher and higher. So I think having a website where the phone's ringing, that also eliminates that fear of picking up the phone and dialing. Because I don't know, how many times have you heard someone say, pick up the phone and smile and dial? And yes, that works, but at the same time, it's a lot of activity that has to go into that compared to if you have one person calling you saying, look, I need life insurance. It's an easy deal for you to go sell. So the sales process is a lot more different than dialing through a stack of leads. So I love that the phone's ringing compared to you making outbound calls.
Yeah, and it's long term. That's really what I want to drill down here on, is the fact that it's a long term solution. You can pay per click, Google ads, Facebook ads. You can do all that. You can buy your leads, but the minute that budget is maxed, you got to refund it. You got to refund it. You got to keep
Yeah.
funding that process. And to me, when you're done, you're done. On pay per click, you can pay per click yourself right out of business. If and the other thing too is consumers are more educated now than ever. They don't want you calling them. They want to call you for what they want. They don't want people calling them. That was, I think, the biggest thing that I took away from it. I remember one guy saying, I only called you because you had left me a message and you sounded sincere. And my husband, now I also have a background with health insurance, and the process by which I do that with an IMO is they actually dial the leads for you. And the leads would then, pick up the phone, and my husband would laugh because they would be, screaming expletives at me, and by the end of the call, I was selling them, a $1,500 a month, health insurance policy. And he's like, how do you do that? And I said, because the first thing I do is I apologize for calling them and explain them how to stop the calls. I'll say, this is what you need to do so that nobody else calls you. And they're like, well, I always say to them, I'm so sorry. I thought you wanted health insurance, but let me tell you how to stop the calls. I solved that problem. And then they admit, no, I really do want health insurance. And then I solve that problem.
Sure.
And then invariably, I get a referral. So imagine the reverse engineering that we're providing with our service, Mike, is that the client who is online, somebody died in their family. It freaked them out. I get these calls all the time.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't want to not have something in place for when I die so that my daughter doesn't get stuck with my funeral.
But and
So you have
that's
that
the
for the
best way
financial
to
cost.
that's the best way to sell to someone too. When they already have that emotional reason why they need to get coverage and get coverage right then and there. Those are it's number one, that's the easiest sale. But number two, you're providing the most amount of value to provide comfort to that individual because they want to make sure that their family's not going to have the same issues that they just dealt with at the funeral home. And so
Mhm.
you can find someone that's emotionally charged on that. You can help them, put them in a better situation. I love
Mhm.
that's the easiest sale compared to just going out and soliciting and soliciting and soliciting. People may or may not be interested in that point in time. So I love that.
Exactly. So it's really about getting the consumer to call the agent versus the agent buying 15 leads and smile and dialing and maybe getting a few appointments out of it. But how many times have we all been porched? I
Yeah.
mean, that is just, it's just a reality of our business. Now, of course, post COVID, and you have the ability to Zoom with a client and do it all that way. The getting porched isn't as much, but they still have to show up for the Zoom. So,
Hmm.
I just feel like, yes, I totally get that that's the way we were trained, but there is a better way. There is a long-term way that you can invest in. Let's say you get out of the business. Let's say you decide to get out of the insurance industry. You actually can sell that website to another agent, that area. And I want to talk about it, about the area, the geographical targeting that we do, because that is part of our service. And I want to give the analogy because a lot of times when speaking with a new agent who wants to buy our services, they'll say like, all right, I want, the entire Atlanta region. Well, that sounds great. However, I like to use the analogy, if you had a full cup of water, that would completely consume that entire cup. Okay,
Hmm.
that water would completely consume it. So that would be what I would call like a zip code or two. Okay,
Okay.
now we take a zip code or two and that glass of water and we throw it into an empty bathtub, which is Metro Atlanta. Just
Much
the
bigger space. Yeah.
Atlanta.
Yep.
um, and it gets watered down. And now take that same cup of water, and now you have Metro Atlanta and the entire suburbs, and you've thrown it into a swimming pool. It's going to get watered down even more. So I want the agents to understand that, depending on which package they go with, it could possibly get more and more watered down if they add more zip codes on there, or counties or whatever you want to call it. You have to think of like geo targeting as a specific area and not just give me all of Atlanta, give me all
Yeah.
of
So,
Georgia.
definitely,
We
definitely think about concentration and a specific area you want to do business in. I think that
Yeah,
makes sense.
if
Yeah.
you're getting 10 leads a week from Metro Atlanta, or you're getting, 3 leads from the entire state of Georgia because we have watered it down, what would you rather have? You'd
Yeah.
rather have 10
Totally.
from Metro Georgia. Exactly. But the good news is, and there is no bad news, these leads that are calling, they already want it. Just like the lead that called me last week. He called me and said, I'm getting married. I already have a daughter. I own my own business. Something happens to me. My fiance and my daughter are out. Like I don't have enough to leave them to pay the mortgage off. I don't have enough to, and set aside in savings to do this. He goes, I just, and so we sat down, we devised a plan. Within an hour I had closed both of them. I mean, that's just how it works. I i can do that all day long. What I can't do is sit at my desk and call people and spend an hour or two calling people and not book an appointment. That's a waste of my time. Time is
Yeah.
money.
Yep.
Time is money. And I prefer to work smarter, not harder. And I just do not see the value in continually buying leads that, again, I'm sharing with probably 50 other agents. It's just not, I'm not interested in doing that.
Yeah, it's tough. And one thing that I love about what you're talking about is I bet those plans that you're selling to that business owner, that's going to stay on the books. He has a huge value in the products that you sold him compared to if you're utilizing a lead platform. How many times? I mean, just let's use a mortgage protection lead. How many times are they being solicited when you buy a home or refinance a home? I remember when I bought my current home. I think we had a total of about 25 different lead mailer solicitations come in, and so it wasn't all from one company. from a lot of companies. And so typically those clients are filling out multiple forms for multiple requests so they can get multiple quotes. But is that policy that you sell them likely to stay on the books compared to if they're calling you and you are the solution and you are the one person they're talking to compared to a million? I like that concept a whole lot better.
Yeah, the persistency is going to be so much better because they made a decision before they called you of what they wanted.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, you might get them on the phone. I'm a big fan of a six policy sale. I mean, what I mean by that is that I go in, I find out what their debt is, I write a term for that. I go in and that's where the
Hmm.
mortgage protection would come in. So they got a 30-year mortgage, I might do a 30 or 40-year term on them.
Yeah.
Then I find out they own a business, so I can do a key person policy for them. And then of course you have I love index universal life policies for tax-free retirement. If they're
Absolutely.
self-employed, ding, 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 get
Yep.
them on that. And then, of course, you're going to insure the wife. And then if they have children, what better way to set those children up on an IUL for college to purchase a home and retirement for those children? You can walk out of an appointment with 6 to 8 policies. And then, as I explained to you before we came on the air, I had also sold him a disability policy. He's like, I need to know that I have 5 years worth of income coming in should I become disabled, because at that point I'd obviously make some adjustments and so forth. So you're 100% correct. If they're calling you, like I know if I go on Facebook and I'm looking for a restaurant and I've gone through and I've looked at their menu, if I'm calling to make a reservation, I'm already sold on it. If I'm looking at anything on Facebook or Instagram, if I'm making contact with you, I'm ready to buy. I
Yeah.
am ready to buy.
Yep.
So it not only solves the problem long term, but it also will increase your sales because you have pre-qualified buyers calling you. And those people, because it's a good experience for them, you did not harass them, they are going to refer you. So
Yeah.
that's where, in my opinion, the old thing, if people are talking about you and they're referring you, that there's no better form of marketing than that.
I love it. Marcia, tell me this. So if I work with a lot of agents on a daily basis. If I have agents that want to set up their own site through the marketing agency, how do they go about doing that? What are the best steps to get this put in place for them?
Well, we're looking for career agents. We're not looking for job agents. If you joined to sell life insurance because you're trying to get a weekly paycheck, probably not for you. We're really looking for career agents who want to have legs under their business. They want longevity. That they want to dominate a specific region. So when someone does a search for them, or for life insurance or debt protection or mortgage protection or final expense or tax-free retirement or debt-free for life, any of those terms that people are online searching for. And we do a lot of legwork to find out what people are online searching for. That's what we do
Yeah.
every month.
Yep.
We look and see what people are searching for. Um, yeah, that's who we're looking for. They can either get in contact with you or they can call me, 413-374-2100. And we can pre-qualify them to make sure that they're a good fit for this program. And if they are, we'd be happy to get them going. It does take a little bit of time to get the website constructed, up and running. A lot goes into mapping out our strategy. And then once we get the strategy in place, the leads will start trickling in. And it's the gift that keeps on giving. The longer you do it, the better it gets. And we also do lock people in to a 2-year contract. And when I say that, think about this. Since we started, our prices have already gone up.
Yeah.
So it's to protect the consumer as well. It will lock that agent in for 2 years. They can lock in longer if they want, and their price will never go up. But I can tell you the more and more services that we add, we do raise our prices from time to time. A lot of people that got in on our pilot program we're very lucky to do so because they are locked in for 2 years.
Sure.
And yeah, yep.
I
So
think that's
that's what
important.
we
The cost of getting a client is only going up and up and up, and it always will. So to be able to lock in a price today, Gosh, I wish I could have done that with gasoline. I mean,
Yeah,
all
well,
these
yeah,
things
but I
keep
mean, I
going
look
up.
at it
So,
from yeah, when I became an agent, I wish that I had the knowledge that I have now, because I did do that. I spent honestly tens of thousands of dollars on purchasing leads. Now, mind you, I have sold, but I would say, was it worth the money that I invested? Absolutely not. This this concept and this process of permanent lead generation, hands down. If I had to do it all over again, this is the only thing I would do.
I love it. I think it froze. Hang on.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, now I can. I'm sorry. It totally cut out there for a second,
That's okay.
but
That's all
okay.
right.
So sounds good. So agents can reach out to you directly or to me directly to get this going. What else? Anything else that we need to add on onto this?
Well, the other thing, it's a first come, first serve. So if someone in your area ends up purchasing that area, we can only work with one agent. It is exclusive. I'm not going to sell the process to you in one area and then turn around and sell it to five other agents like a lead gen program would do, or a lead purchase program would do. So it is first come, first serve. Again, we're looking for career agents, not job agents. There is a huge difference between the two. And yeah, why don't you give them how they get in contact with you, Mike? And yeah, and we're happy to get them set up.
Yeah, absolutely. My website is bluewavefinancial.com. So you can always go into bluewavefinancial.com. There's all sorts of forms you can fill out to connect with me. My personal cell phone is 703-309-5543. And that's great. I mean, call me, text me anytime. So 703-309-5543 is the most direct way to reach me. So and I always answer my
Right.
phone. I'm available.
Exactly. Same here. All right, Mike, that sounds great. You've been listening to Elevating with Marcia. We've been talking about the lead generation program specifically for insurance agents, although we do provide the services for other industries, CPAs, lawyers, real estate agents, pretty much any business we can do. But today we were specifically talking about the purchase of leads and how long term it may not be the way to go. All right. Thanks for joining in, and we'll talk soon.